The First Amendment right to free speech is on life support. With a recent decision by the Supreme Court, they may have pulled the plug. It's a sad time in America for us. The case I'm talking about is the Nurre case, Nurre versus Whitehead, where in 2006 a 17-member string ensemble wanted to play Ave Maria, not the one most of us know and can hum, but an obscure piece with no lyrics at the graduation ceremony at their high school in the state of Washington. The school administrators thought the word Ave Maria might be religious. They didn't know exactly what it meant, and so they later researched it and found out, well, gee, just the title might be dangerous to play to people. So they canceled the performance. Remember, this is without lyrics. It's just music. And a young lady named Catherine Nurre, who was in the ensemble, thought it was a violation of her free speech rights, so the Rutherford Institute filed a lawsuit in federal court. We fought all the way up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which ruled that it was really free speech, but they said, wait, there's a little bit of religious expression in here, so schools have authority to wipe that out. Well, we wrote a brief to the Supreme Court where we said this will basically wipe out every type of art in schools, significant art, from Da Vinci's Last Supper. Kids could not sing Let It Be by the Beatles because it's a religious song at a graduation ceremony. They couldn't sing Stairway to Heaven, but they couldn't hum it or play it instrumentally. So that's how far-reaching this case is. We appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, and the U.S. Supreme Court has now decided it will not hear the case. The signal being sent out of Washington with the Washington elite, which is the Supreme Court is part of, is that in the public schools, in high schools and elementary schools, the schools have basically draconian control over kids now, from zero-tolerance policies. Now it reaches to free speech. There's no freedom of expression, especially if it's just minimally religious. And again, I'm going to really emphasize here, this is going to wipe out most art in schools if schools want to do it. The great masters of all time, from medieval art, Renaissance art, were people who painted religious themes and talked about religious themes. You cannot play Mozart's Requiem or some of Beethoven's music, the Ode to Joy, in public schools. It talks about God. This has become insane in schools. And Judge Alito actually dissented from the fact that the court would not take this court on appeal. It's very rare for a judge to do this, and here's what he had to say. When a public school purports to allow students to express themselves, it must respect the students' free speech rights. School administrators may not behave like puppet masters who create the illusion that students are engaging in personal expression when in fact the school administration is pulling the strings. That's what we're facing in this country. Are we going to let schools basically annihilate free speech? The fact is that most kids graduate from high school, they don't even know what's in the First Amendment. What are we proposing for the future of our country here? We're proposing a very compliant citizenry that does not even know their rights. And if this continues, we're going to have a citizenry that does not even believe that they have free speech rights anymore. It will translate out into the streets. What one generation learns in the classroom, they do out in the rest of their lives. And that's what we're facing. So what are we going to have to do here? We're going to get very active as citizens, promote free speech in schools, and like the Rutherford Institute, at the drop of a hat, when somebody's rights are violated, if you're a parent or a teacher, stand up for their rights or file a lawsuit. We're going to have to start fighting back. To learn more about this very important case, go to our website at rutherford.org and read our press release. And we actually have Judge Alito's very fine dissent on our website. Read this, folks. Take action, because if we don't have free speech, we are dead in this country. We're going to move into an era of darkness where there will be no freedom.